I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me.
Well, welcome to Unity on Maui. And I'm a little out of sync today, so I forgot to say welcome to all the people watching on Facebook, and welcome to those of you here in the sanctuary. Your phones are turned off or put on silent, I'm sure, and if you need the bathrooms, are right around the corner behind the wall. There's two of them to choose from. And I mentioned the prayer chaplains are giving the talk today, but also want to point out that the prayer chaplain, we have at least one every week here to pray with you after service. And so you can just come up and talk to any of us. Today we're all wearing the white feather boa here to show us off and help you spot us. So if you want some prayer afterwards, we're always available to you. So we got together on Zoom, the 5 chaplains, and said, okay, what are we going to talk about this time? And of course, you know, there's a lot going on Maui, so that touched us. And we started coming up with words that started with release and rebirth and renewal and rejuvenate and all these wonderful things that start with and that just inspired us. And we wound up with a talk we decided to call Prayer, the Path of Trust. Now, everything you hear could be about current events. It could apply to the situation in Lahaina. But as is in the macro, in the big picture, in the small picture, it's really all the same thing. So everything we're going to talk about, I think, also applies to our own personal lives and how we treat each instance that we come to and how we approach it. So take it however you want. Take it in the big picture if that's where your heart is. Take it in your immediate needs if that's where you feel it. And our first chaplain is Carol, and I'll leave the clicker up here and hope it works. And if it doesn't, throw something at me and I'll push the button.
Throw something at you. I might take you up on that, Adam.
Yeah. Would you like this closer?
Did you move that or did I? Remember.
I did that.
Okay. Here we are. My philosophy about prayer is that every thought we think, every spoken word is a prayer. You mean even the thoughts we think have power? Oh, I learned that in a very uncomfortable way about 30 years ago. I was working for the National Park Service, and I was in the Denver Service Center on a planning team, and we would travel across the country and create management plans for different national parks. And a group of planners would get together of all different disciplines, and about 8 of us were coming back from a meeting in this large van, and I remember my colleague Bill saying something profound. I don't have a clue what that was, but what I remember most is my response to that. And I said, "You mean if I think it and don't say it, it counts?" And the whole van had gotten quiet after Bill's comment, and they just burst into this raucous laughter, and I felt about 2 inches high. And yet, as uncomfortable as that was, it was a moment where I learned something. It was a moment where what I needed to know came to me. Prayer. And that's for my Park Service story that I just told you. And there we have it, prayer, a path of trust. Trusting that what we need to know will come to us when we need to know it. Isn't that a beautiful thing? In each moment, we have that opportunity, gratefully, blessedly. If we are experiencing what we don't prefer, we can look at that and say, well, that's not me, that's not what I prefer, and then we have the opportunity to shift. Even in those moments when our physical body aches, we can remember, that's not me. Or when we are having a thought of lack, that we don't have enough money to buy what we want or the service that we think we need. That is not us. We are not the judgmental one that just showed up in response to a loved one. We are not that person. In each moment, we have the opportunity, blessedly, to think again, to move forward again. Recently, I was going through a health challenge. And I don't know about you, but when my physical body doesn't feel well, it affects my emotional, mental, spiritual, all of me. It definitely affects all of me. And so I was doing my best to remember in that challenge the truth of who I am. As I was pondering this, I looked over at my bookshelf, and this little book by Paramahansa Yogananda, Scientific Healing Affirmations, caught my attention. I opened it up, and this quote just about popped off the page at me. Obey God's laws of hygiene. The hygiene of keeping the mind pure is superior to physical hygiene. Oops. But the latter is important and should not be neglected. Do not, however, live by such rigid rules that the least deviation from your wanted habits upsets you. Ouch. Well, that quote caught me right where I was, giving me just what I needed to hear in that moment. I came to understand and trust more deeply than ever that what I need to know will come to me when I need to know it. So, what about those really hard experiences? The really seemingly unforgivable things? Are those in our highest and best interest? It's like, yikes, that's a tough pill to swallow. And yet, if we can take our attention from the dark cloud and begin to place it on the silver lining, then perhaps the dark cloud is a gift because of its silver lining. Remember, you are abundant and radiantly alive. So say that with me. I am abundant and radiantly alive. And this morning, the first thing I thought of when I woke up was a little twist on this, and I added an ly to abundant. Another version, I am abundantly and radiantly alive. Mahalo for the opportunity to remember on a deeper level than ever before that God is, and that we are blessed, and that this is a magnificent journey of trust. Trust the process of life. And now, Marlene will reveal to us more about that very word, reveal. Mahalo.
Thank you, Carol. Aloha. So in the next step of prayer, we have revealing. Reveal that which needs to be revealed. And that is that is the prayer. Thank you, God, for revealing what I need to know at this time. And as we step into this thought, we need to embrace listening, the part of meditation where we hear where we're to go, what we're to do, our thoughts of what we need to be embracing at this particular point in time. My notes, because I can't see. So Jesus was somebody that really listened. And he did a lot of prayers from the place of thanksgiving. And each and every single thing was about revealing the power and the presence of God. And he prayed, thank you, God, for being able to feed all these people. When the disciples are like, how are we going to feed everybody? And he's, trust. It will be done. And then there's the thought about how he came himself to reveal that process of God by embracing the trust needed to go through all of the things that he did. And he also walked that path where he helped others to see that love and that forgiveness that God is. And he made it sound like, the one prayer was, thank you, God, that you have kept some of these secrets from the knowledgeable, but revealed them to the children. And we all know how children are. They're not, well, let's see, in a month or a year, I think I want that toy in a year. They're like, I want that toy right now. And most times, they probably get it. So they have that knowingness that manifestation can happen fast. It's just all of the adults. Well, you need to budget. You need to look at whether you've got enough money coming in. All this da-da-da-da-da-da-das. We shouldn't shoot ourselves. So I came up with these, what I believe are some really good tools that are tips and tools that are very helpful in revealing this process of what we need to know in taking our walk on this path and journey. And forgiveness, releasing and acknowledging what action steps to take was, we have to be able to release and let go. Because if we have our cup full of stuff that we don't want, how is the good stuff going to come in? We have to release. And this is like going through the layers of the onion, because you're not going to get everything in one shot. It'd be so easy. It'd be like, okay, here one day, gone the next. But we're here to do the work, and that takes time. And we need to accept that process. So we can go through these layers of revealing through journaling, prayer work. And once you think you did the ultimate prayer, these steps of revealing ought to bring you into other moments of prayer. Because prayer is a constant, every day, every thought process. Breath work, affirmations. Well, everybody's like, well, how do we do these affirmations? Jesus was good on that. He said, I am. I am the way. I am the truth. He who has seen me has seen the Father. He used that term a lot, the Father, but it was also, I believe, father-mother principle that he was speaking of. And I believe that there was just some editing that took place that got rid of the mother principle. And then there's physical movement and expression, such as art, dance, singing, playing an instrument. And we can use all of these tools to help us to come into that deeper alignment with knowing who we are, where we want to go, how we can serve more fully and deeply, and embrace who we are and allow that to be. And so this whole process of release is part of the path to trust. And I believe that Patricia is going to continue with her part of revitalization.
Hopefully this mic is in the right place. Can you folks hear me, or do I need to do something? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, they're all giving me a yes, so we'll take the yeses. Okay. Because Christine's even shorter than I am. Oh. So when you see this word on the screen, what does revitalize represent for you? The re part, which is what got us going on this path when we started it, usually means to revisit, to come back to expand what is already present, what is already here, what's within us. So if life force that's flowing through us, Carol very clearly offered that it's in here. God is present. God is here. We get to remember that possibility, or maybe even that truth. Really? Something's beating my heart. Something's breathing my lungs. You can put a lot of words on it. Scientists could give you all sorts of stories and reasons for how and why that happens. But those of us that live in a world that is more metaphysically oriented, we know that it is the thing we call the universe. We call it God. We call it nature. It's already here. It keeps this thing moving and animated and breathing and doing what it is. As that I am flows through. Yeah, but where did it come from? It was always here. It was always an isness. It was always that wanted and desired a way to express itself. Consider the possibility that this vitality that we are, life force, joy, compassion, all of these qualities that we choose to embody, hopefully more than not, are actually different representations of this thing called God, this life force that we get to individually and collectively express. Some statistician talked about we're at 8 billion souls on the planet at this time. Now take a moment and visualize, or better yet, if you possibly can, feel the power of 8 billion unique expressions of that is in everything on this planet, and maybe even the universe. We haven't figured that one out yet. 8 billion energies vibrating life force that is vital. So when, as we use prayer, considering that we might consider it to be the path to trust, what am I trusting? I'm trusting what already is, what is right here inside me and you and you and you and every living thing on the planet, in the universe. So my mind goes, yeah, but nobody's proven that, but how do you know that's true? Well, no. Those are the things that Carol was talking about, and Marlene in her own way addressed also. When this thing, this mind, this protective mechanism that we all have engaged, and it's a good thing we have that because it does keep us coming back to what is already here. Because when I take my focus and my attention and my intention off of, oh my God, it's hard, I don't understand it, doesn't make sense, oh, what if I'm not safe? Okay, that's a good check-in. That's a good place to stop and pause and feel, oh, that didn't feel good. Using the tools that Marlene so brilliantly shared with us. Breathe. Take our focus off of whatever that is, that chatter, that chaos, that very wonderful monkey mind doing its thing. Bless you. Thank you. The truth of my being is love. The truth of my being is the vitality that flows through this body, very evident that I am alive. The truth of my being, that my opportunity to be this expression of life, of light, of love, of God, of existence, of nature. Oh, what a privilege. So for a moment, I want you to take a breath, however you can and do, into this vehicle, this body temple, and find, feel, and experience your vitality. And as you do that in your own unique way that only you can do that for yourself, consider that this prayer that we've been assured that every thought is a prayer, that we can revitalize, we can renew, we can remember life, the joy that it is, the energy that flows through us expressing. And as we drop into that and allow it to have its way with us from deep within, what I feel, I got a tingling going on. I got a lot of energy flowing through these cells, this vehicle that I am is expressing through. I have an affirmation that I've said for many years. Got it from some person smarter than me, however, it works very well for me. So, everything that I am spontaneously adjusts, corrects, and recalibrates itself to my optimum state at this time. Whatever my optimum state is, that to me is a representation of the vitality that I am. And Adam's going to offer to us next an opportunity to rebirth ourselves. What does that look like? We're remembering, we're revealing, we're owning and honoring the vitality that we are. What are we going to do with all that? How will that look? I think Adam has a few ideas.
Let's use this one. Then it'll be way out of position for Christine. So Patricia, thank you. Wow, so many brilliant points there. And I'm a guy that always likes to cross-reference them. So she pointed out the perfect expression, the perfect unfoldment of exactly what's in our mind. And she also mentioned that there are 8 billion of us. So that's how we got here where we are today. 8 billion creative souls manifesting in this beautiful playground of how we want to play together. And so every so often, there's a cleaning, there's a cleansing, things change. In Hinduism, there's Kali the destroyer that removes what's there. In life, there's just events on the planet that clear an area and let something else new grow. And that can be traumatizing during certain parts of it, obviously. And not what we would choose, not what we expected, but that's the unfolding of what's happening. And what's left for us to do is to say, okay, what's the new seed that's going to grow in that place? What's going to rebirth? There's the phoenix that rises from the ashes. There's all kinds of metaphors and thoughts about new growth, and we get to choose that in our heart. And there's creative visualization, our community, at least I know for 50 years, I've been all into that power of positive thought, and I'm creating it with my mind and all that great stuff. But Michael Beckwith took it to something a little more subtle called visioning. So instead of saying, I want it to be A, B, and C, you sit back and say, what's mine to know? What's mine to do? What's mine to release? What's mine to embrace? And kind of a subtler turning it over to spirit. So I encourage you to do that if it's situations in your life. And I think also as an island, that's where we're coming together to say, how do we rebuild Lahaina? What will it be? And everyone has different ideas and different visions and different passions. But I believe that there's a way that that can all coexist. And I think the first step is to get to the essence of it. I feel like a lot of the conflict and disagreement in the world is not really arguing over the results we want. We all want a comfortable home, no one shooting at us, enough food, peace, safe, security. I think we all want that. And the disagreements that we get all Facebook about is how we think it's going to happen. You know, it has to happen the way that I see it happening. So let's take any vision, any passion, any desire for rebirth and growth, and let's move that up a little bit to the higher source and know that there is something beautiful already in the mind of God. And let's just say, what's mine to do? How do I resonate? Yes, I really feel passionate about such and such because of the feeling, not because of the A, B, and C, but because of the essence behind it, because of the feeling that gives me for myself and for other people to have what they desire and what's important to them. So I don't know, that's why the word rebirth really popped up at me at this time. Oh, and of course we have one rebirth to celebrate right away. The banyan tree's already got some new leaves on it. So that is, I think, is a great symbol of rebirth. And in my vision, that area becomes a memorial park and a celebration of growth and rebirth and what we are. And in our sister religion, Centers for Spiritual Living, Science of Mind, when you have your prayer answered, it's called a demonstration. It's where there is a demonstration from the universe that what you put out there comes back. So my desire is a rebirth and renewal that works for everyone. And like I say, I turn it over to that higher source, knowing that something beautiful, even more than I can manifest, already exists there. And I'll simply listen for what's mine to do. I think that yearning in our heart for a song or a word or an expression is spirit, is that big picture acting through us as the arms of God or spirit in the world. And to wrap this up and take us home, Christine Warner, also a prayer chaplain here with us, will take us home.
How do I follow all of that? These are amazing beings. That consciousness is holding you all the time. That consciousness is holding you all the time. These souls are praying for you. It's deeply touching to know that I have these beautiful souls as friends. And we get to pray together. My word is revelation. It's one of my favorite songs from Ricky Byers Beckwith. I had a revelation. One time when I was in prayer, I had a revelation. And I knew that right where I was, God is. Revelation is to reveal. They've all touched on this. Its root word is to lay bare. We've all had revelations where the light has dawned on us. I think the Course in Miracles mentions the dawning on our mind of a truth we've always known. It's there for us. But it's ours to make it welcome. And there are tools that we can do to sit in the silence. To sit in the silence and be fully present to what is. Your seat in the chair, the sounds that you hear, what you smell, what you feel inside your body temple, your heart beating, maybe there's tingling in your hands or a muscle twitch, an eye itch. Just being fully present within your body and what you're feeling in your heart. Acknowledging whether there's sadness, anger, frustration, fear, joy, love, excitement, without judgment, just present. And then in that presence, acknowledging that all of this is God. And then in the nurturing of that experience, you may hear within that soul of yours, sometimes loudly, sometimes softly, what is yours to do today. And that will be a revelation. Today is a good day. And what is yours to do today? And that may not necessarily mean, that revelation may not say, I got to go to Lahaina right now and start handing stuff out at distribution centers. It may mean I need to stay home. I may need to make a phone call for that appointment I've been putting off. I may need to put oil in the car. Our revelation will be what is ours to do today for our highest good. And since that one mind is all minds, it serves all. Whatever ours is due today serves all of us, all 8 billion of us. We judge it not as not enough. We choose in that moment of presencing that whatever is ours to do today is more than enough. More than enough. For really the most important thing that we have done today will be to have sat in that silence for just a moment and recognized that right where we are, right where I am, that presence that knows everything, that moves through us all, that presence that is behind the science, that causes the science, that creates the science, that which hangs the stars, spins this earth, is always right here, right now. And in that, you may get that blessing of that awareness more profoundly than ever before. And when that drops in, nothing is impossible. May not always fit your pictures, but it will move you one step closer to that which will serve us all, and in that will be your heart's desire. Are we ready now to surrender more than ever before to that which is God's will? Can we give ourselves fully, trusting, falling back into the arms of that, and let that be the most important thing that has full sway in our lives? That's a path of trust. And it will weave, and it will appear to diminish, but it is always right there. And if that is your heart's desire, to give your life fully in every way to that which is yours to do in the will of the Most High, it will be done. It always is. You may judge it as otherwise, but it always is. You may think there are wrong choices, bad choices, good choices. No. It's all moving through you now, and the more you acknowledge that, the more you can trust that, the easier and more grace-filled, the more you're able to love yourself, you can love the world and all those that you come in contact with in every moment. My prayer for you is that you have that revelation, that drops in real solid, and you get that feeling. I had a revelation. So let's go into prayer. Take us time for a little silent meditation right now to do just that. To feel your feet on the floor and feel your seat in the chair. To take a breath. And allow yourself right now to acknowledge within you the power and the presence of this divine and infinite wisdom that beats your heart, that sings your song, that does everything that you do through you. It may look like your hand, but it is the hand of God. And it is done in divine timing. Take a breath. Surrender to this now. I am willing now more than ever before to trust God's wisdom, God's action, God's timing, God's gifts. There is nothing to achieve, simply that to be willing to show up. I am willing now to show up now more than ever before, to be the instrument of the Most High. I celebrate this. I can relax. I can let go. The pressure is off. Because God is there. God has got this. All of it. My life, the life of Lahaina, the life of Maui, the life of this beautiful blue jewel that is experiencing so much everywhere. God is there. And I trust my part in it. I judge it not. I am ready and I am willing. And I let it be so. Thank God. Thank God. For God. And for this realization. For this dawning on my mind. That I can trust now more than ever before. Thank you. Thank you. Om Shanti. Peace. Amen. I celebrate that. I celebrate that.
Exciting point is our offering. It's right up there on the page there. And this is just where, if you feel so inclined to give something back to Unity of Maui for presenting the music and thoughts to you, totally your choice, no pressure. It's just a part of the circulation, part of the affirmation that a divine flow comes into our life and we get to choose what to do and where to support it. So if you have an offering, please hold it in your hand. And let's see. And of course, if you're online, it's kind of hard to drop it in the basket. It's a long reach. So we make it easy for you. We have a PayPal donate button right on our website. And if you're really old school and still want to write a check, we're not going to argue with checks in the mail. We're happy to accept those over at Unity of Maui. And it goes to pay the bills and keep the lights on and keep the technology to deliver it to homes every week and all the things we do. So please just hold any offering that you choose to give in your hand, and together we say this prayer. Through a grateful and giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing infinite supply. All right, and now they're going to come around with the basket and accept anything. And this is usually where there's some music playing, but since we don't have a musician, just hear that music within yourself.
Let's hear myself again.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Hey, we have a DJ too.
Inside of me, clouds moving around my heart. Something's changing that I can't see. I'm stuck in what I know is safe, not yet where I'm supposed to be. I feel the call of something more.
Thank you, Eleanor, for passing that around.
Of something I've never felt before.
So, on behalf of Unity of Maui, I gratefully receive these gifts for Unity of Maui to do what it does and continue shining a light of blessing and to heal hearts in all the multiple ways that we don't even know yet that every single one of us, our individual action makes a difference to make this a better planet. So we're grateful to receive these gifts. Thank you. All right, announcement time. Let's see what's exciting. If you ever want to bring flowers to put on the altar, you are welcome to. There's a sign-up sheet in the back. You can pick your week. You can dedicate them as a tribute to someone if you would like. And then when service is over, you even get to take them home. So such a deal. So that sign-up sheet is in the back there if you're interested. And the Kundalini meditation is continuing on. That's Prashanti's weekly class that always happens right here at the sanctuary. It's every Tuesday, starts at 6 in the evening, runs till about 7:15. And the classes are free, but donations are certainly accepted. We've got another sound bath meditation coming up. This one will be on September 23rd with Carrie Sawyer. And that's Saturday right here from 4 to 5. And again, there's no charge, but if you want to give something to her or the church, you're welcome to. You could bring a mat or sit in a chair, and she provides an amazing, relaxing experience that can calm your soul. That's always good. All right. And as I mentioned, Faith Rivera is coming to town. She's going to be here playing with us on Sunday, October 15th. And then she's doing a concert afterwards. So such a deal. So you're going to want to keep that on your schedule. I'm not sure, but I saw something. I'm not sure she might even be playing together with Robin. That would be super cool if that happens. So anyway, mark that on your calendars. Don't want to miss that. You just saw her make your rise there. So, all right. And then right today after service at noon, we're going to show a movie. It's one that's very special to me. It's spiritual, it's exciting, it's sci-fi, it's fun, it's adventurous. It's called Tomorrowland. Came out a few years ago with George Clooney and several other very excellent actors and actresses. And we're going to put a table here and a big TV. So grab your lunch and come back, or maybe you got it with you, and we'll be starting that right about noon as soon as everyone is in their seats. And like those other things I told you about, it's free, there's no admission, but if you want to donate something, you're welcome to. So Blaine will continue to be on a sabbatical for a couple more weeks. Next week, we got in this guy called Adam Lightplay. I'm not sure what he's up to, but he says he's going to be doing something called Rock and Roll Rebirth with a little help from his friends. So that should be pretty exciting. It's still, I'm sure, manifesting and unfolding, but it should be pretty great. So that's going to be next Sunday's presentation here. And then the Sunday after that, Reverend Beverly Strutt from the Center for Spiritual Living on the Big Island will be coming over. And I'm very happy about that. Okay, so we're going to say our prayer of protection and sing a song which may or may not have music. We'll see how the technology treats us today. But the prayer of protection, if you want to stand up, and we like to say this one together. That light of God surrounds us, and the love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is.
Where I live, there are rain.